Welcome to The Secret Life of Parkinson's. I'm Jessica Krauser, and as always, I'm with my co-host, Brian Baker.
Just the eye candy, just the eye candy.
Just the eye candy. That's why we like to have you.
Yep.
But we have Roz Parrish back with us. Roz, welcome back.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
You're like a regular because this is now her third time with us.
That's true.
I think she's starting to take over the
I actually was going to go to her before I went to you to say and our co-host Roz. No, thank you again so much for coming back on.
You're so welcome. It's good to be here.
We appreciate it. For those that have not heard our previous segments, we had two segments with Roz, one back in February. She was talking about her DBS journey, or pre-DBS.
Correct.
And talking about all the preparations that she was going through. And then just last month?
Yes, in May. May 26th.
We talked to you after you had...
Oh, no. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
It was before... Well, no, you had your left side done.
Right.
1 month, and then your right side.
Right.
Then you got the implant.
Correct.
Here. So you had 3 different surgeries at 3 different times.
Right.
And then we talked to you at that point, and we called it a special update. You weren't a part of that.
That's right.
And my son actually did the editing because Steve wasn't around either.
We stuck one in.
Yeah. And but we talked to you before you got turned on.
Correct.
I don't know what else to say. So now we want to talk to you about what it's like to be on, and I would say your DBS journey is, you're still in the middle because you probably still have a lot more to go, but you look fantastic.
Thank you.
And I think you said you were feeling great, so I just want to kind of
bring you up to speed.
Yeah, get us up to speed. Tell us what's going on.
Okay. Well, actually, the best way to say it is turned on. It sounds kind of awkward when you say it, but
I had trouble turning on.
When I went in that day, it was the analogy that I use is everybody's probably been to the eye doctor at one point, and when you go to the eye doctor, they say, "Is it better 1 or 2?
Oh yeah,
or 3 or 4?" Well, try doing that for about 3.5 hours with no meds and sitting in a chair, and she just basically did say, I'm going to turn this on, and then she just watched me basically, but she gave me cues. Like when they turn it on, she said, "Tell me when you feel something." Like you could feel a tingle in your hand or your foot, or if you feel woozy, or there was a sign on the cabinet door that I was looking at. She wanted to know if the words got blurry on it.
Oh.
And so what they do, and your brain it's really probably not meant to be given electric stimulus, but when it happens, there was one episode where I completely broke out in a sweat, and my whole back of my shirt was like wet. That wasn't a good option. There was one time where I did get woozy. There was another time when they tested, for my speech, because
when you say another time, you're talking all
at once. Yeah, okay. Yeah. And they just keep playing with, where they're going to try to set the program so that you have the best results. And then that, at least I understand it, that's kind of like your baseline maybe. Mm-hmm. And then I will go back on June 17th, and I will be programmed, they'll do fine detailing and things that, will make things even better. Because the first time through, the rigidity in my right leg is pretty much gone.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Like I do not have any rigidity in my right leg. Now that day that I got programmed, it was grueling. It was a really long day. Fortunately, Lisa from Boston Scientific had told me, bring a pillow because you might want to sleep in the car on the way home. And then on Friday morning when I got up, I honestly did not feel like I had any, I didn't need my medicine the minute I got up. I felt great on that first Friday morning. And I went out with, this is my little controller, and I went out with, it was programmed to 0.5 on both my right and my left side. It goes all the way up to 12. Cool. So I started really, really low. And my nurse practitioner, Ellen, she that's kind of what she felt was my best interest to do that. But she also gave me the capability to play with it a little bit, just up to 1.0.
What happens when it goes up?
When it goes up, there's different things that can happen. Like I bumped it, the first day I bumped it to 0.7. 6, and I really didn't feel much of a difference at all. When I bumped my left side to 0.8, I felt a tingling in the bottom of my foot, like right away, and I was going to back it down because I was like, oh, I don't know what's going to happen. But I just let it stay, and actually that is where the setting that I felt was the most beneficial for me. My left side is a little bit more, it's definitely a little more out of control than my right.
But I'd also say before like the cameras went on,
right,
you were fine.
Fine, yeah.
It's just nervous. Now the nervousness or the anxiety
exactly.
that'll bring it out a little bit. But
correct.
like even during exercising today, like I was watching you exercise. Sorry,
but
okay. I noticed that you used to be very dyskinetic, right, and your tremors, and I didn't see any of that when you were exercising,
right. And that's funny that you say that, because the dyskinesia was what my nurse practitioner was really concerned about. I told her that first day that let's get my rigidity first instead of my dyskinesia, but I have felt both that it's gotten better.
But the dyskinesia is from the Cinemet, right?
Correct. Oh, and that's the other thing. They did take me off one. I was taking a half a pill at 10 o'clock in the morning of Cinemet, one and a half, and taking 1.5 at 2 in the afternoon. And they completely did away with the half pill, and I really don't miss it. So my goal is the next time we go is I'm hoping that they may start saying that we can take a little bit more medications, because her goal is to get me. I also take Mirapex, and her goal is to get. I take that only 3 times a day, 1 milligram, and she wants to get me off of that completely. So
what's next for you? Like how often do you go back? Or
okay, originally when I first went for all of my setups, and when we first started, I was only scheduled for 2, one on May 26th and one on June 17th. That day she went ahead and scheduled, because they're really busy. And so she went ahead and found time for me on July 14th and another time on September 1st. And at that point in time, I think that they hope to be to the place where I'll be set and I may not have to go back for 6 months. But, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I was glad that she put 2 more episodes or 2 more dates in there to have the programming done. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it is. It really is. I'm very grateful that, we went ahead and moved forward with this. She's very encouraging, thinks I'm a great candidate. It's just been, for me, it's been a really positive experience.
Is there anything, now that you've gone through this, that you wish you knew or that you did differently?
Well, everybody's different, and it's just like the disease being different, I've heard lately them say that the disease is like the snowflake disease, and I'm like, that's a really kind of good way to put it,
I've heard that from them.
Because everyone is different, and but for me, the first surgery was a breeze. We couldn't have asked for it to be better, and I was all smiles, and I think I shared with you one of the other times I was on that I put this right hand out and it didn't shake at all, and I was so encouraged. Well, silly for us, but we did not realize that, when we went up for the second surgery, we being my family, we just figured that surgery would be the same as my first, and it truly wasn't. It was a lot more difficult, just as what I experienced in the OR. I think I've shared with you guys, maybe one-on-one at exercise class, but at one point when I was woken up, I had this tingly feeling in my chest, and I was really hot. Well, come to find out, they were messing with the wires that they had put in just to, try to find where they were going to put the lead. And I think that those symptoms that I had were an effect of, the electric, coming in. So that was, and then I got really agitated because I didn't know what was going on. And, they kind of noticed that I was agitated, and they're like, Roz, what's wrong? And I said, I'm feeling all this in here. And it was kind of a comical, but they said, is it your heart? And I was like, you guys are the doctors. Don't ask me that. But so when I got agitated then too, my right leg went extremely rigid. And so the whole OR experience was completely different from the first time. It wasn't, looking back, it wasn't horrible, but while it was happening, it was just different. And I wish I would have not gotten my I set so much on the fact that everything was just going to, be like
everything was
the exact
rosy.
same. Yeah. So, but, when I came out of recovery and Dr. Ramo had, talked to Brian and they admitted,
Brian.
My Brian, my husband, Brian.
I was not there.
No, Brian Baker wasn't there, which I don't know. Do you want me to say at this point that Brian's...
Yeah, what do we want to say here?
Do you have an announcement?
So, yes, I am following in Roz's footsteps. No, I've talked to Steve, I've talked to Roz, I've talked to a bunch of people, done some research, and I have decided to have the DBS surgery done.
Yeah.
And I will go in on June 22nd to have the first surgery done. And
that's
then,
like in 2 weeks.
Yeah, and then the end of July for the second surgery.
You are having both sides done.
Both sides are being done, and then I will go have the battery installed in my chest in August, and they've already got the date set to get it programmed.
Awesome.
That's so exciting. Congratulations.
It's exciting. It's nervous. It's everything all at once. When I got diagnosed with this, I said I was going to do whatever it took to, beat it and make life the best it could be, as long as it could be. I'm taking a lot of medication right now.
Yeah. Can you show us how much medication you're taking?
So we were talking about this in one of the other podcasts, the jumbo.
Put it out here.
The
That's
jumbo
crazy.
So that's 2 weeks worth of medication.
That looks like a lot.
That looks like a whole lot.
This is 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah. How many pills do you take a day of this?
I take 12 pills, or no, 8, 2, 4, 6, 8 pills of that a day.
What else?
In addition, and I take another pill 4 times a day, and I take another pill 1 time. So just without any supplements, just my Parkinson's, I'm taking, 12, 15, 13 pills a day.
I lost count.
Yeah, 13, yeah.
Like, I just know I take 9, and that's all.
Yeah, so 13 pills a day. That's not vitamins, not supplements.
Yeah. Right.
It's just,
right.
Literally, I get to the point where I can't swallow another pill. I
sure.
just can't take another pill. And so I'm hoping that'll lessen the amount of medication I have to take. On that, this medication is extremely expensive right now. It's ridiculously expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the other thing too.
Yeah,
is it
save you some money, hopefully.
Well, yeah, and that, and just trying to get off some of the medication.
Right.
I just feel like I'm on it all the time. But.
Right. And that was one of my goals, that when I, first signed up for it, I just wanted to reduce my meds. And, I got told by a couple people that, it doesn't happen to everyone, that you can reduce your meds, but, completely get off your meds. But the reduction of meds is I think that it's pretty safe. Hopefully that will happen for you. And I just wanted to say that, you have the same doctor, neurosurgeon that I had.
We didn't plan it at all. I went to Cleveland and met with people, and called Roz after I got done and said I've been approved. And she said, "What surgeon do you have?" And she said, "Yeah, that's the same one I had." So
yeah, and he was excellent. And I know that you already have used your resources, but being at the gym and talking to like Steve and all the people that have had it, that was so helpful to me. Right. It really was. And I would encourage anybody, no matter who they are, that has Parkinson and they're headed for DBS, find a community, find some sort of group, or at least another person that, you can bounce things off of, because I had the same feelings, I'm sure that you have, and everybody does, when you decide to do it. You go back and forth, you second guess, and
it's probably also got to be really nice that you guys can talk about the same surgeon.
Exactly.
Right? Because I know I've heard other stories, and from other patients that maybe didn't have potentially the best outcome, or just it takes a different type of journey. So really doing your research on what hospital you're going to, what surgeon you're going to. Everybody's different. And
Roz has her daughter is a nurse, and so she
coming with you?
No, but she researched this doctor very well, so I'm trusting that too. So she trusted her mom with her, so I think
exactly. Actually, that was my oldest daughter, who she researches everything, and she did. She researched him and found out that he wrote published some articles, and on and on. But and my whole family absolutely was just mesmerized by him. He was awesome.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, I have to say in there too that, when I first found out that he was going to be my surgeon, I was a little worried because like Steve, that's not who did Steve's. And I'm trying to think who else I even talked to about it. But, I was like, oh man, no one's heard of this guy before. Well, surprise, surprise. He was over the top. So
Fantastic.
yeah,
That's
good.
awesome.
Good.
Well,
Yes, it's exciting. So I will have a shaved head probably in our next few episodes coming up, and maybe some scarring. And I saw a couple friends of mine this weekend. They're like, "Oh, I can't wait to see what you look like with a shaved head."
I know. I was kind of thinking the same thing. I'm like trying to picture it. Which you, by the way, like you look like when I first saw you, it's like a weird thing to say, but it's like you have a really nice shaped head. Like, because you don't know what it's gonna look like.
Exactly
when it's all gone.
I got
That's
a
exactly
Fred
right,
Flintstone
Jessica.
head. So
Yeah.
You're not supposed to laugh at that.
Pedaling your feet. Sorry.
Yeah, and I mean, if I could just add one more thing too, I just feel like, a lot of times attitude in life is everything, and or not everything, but very helpful. And it's easy to be woe is me and to think about all the tough stuff that you go through. But I had a couple mantras that I've shared before. When I first got diagnosed, I shared that my mantra was. I wanted my faith to be stronger than my fear. And my second mantra was, I'm not going to let Parkinson's define me. I'm going to define the disease. And my one that really I went to a lot during this whole time was never, ever, ever give up. Fortunately, there's not a lot of pain with this surgery because the brain doesn't have those nerve endings, I guess, for you, which I was totally shocked that there wasn't that much pain involved. I mean, the most I took was extra strength Tylenol. But anyways, if you have a good attitude and you surround yourself with people that help build that attitude, which again, PD Next Steps, so many positive people there. So if you can find some things to hang on to like that, I think it makes things a little easier to handle.
Oh, that means you're going to have to be a glass half full kind of person.
I am always a positive.
You were just thinking about that.
Yes.
Be like get away from the glass half empty. Well, thank you, Roz, so much again for coming on. I think on just behalf of Brian and I, we'd like to thank you for coming and being open and honest and vulnerable with such an intense personal journey. You have opened up our eyes and you've opened up so many people and have touched people that you may never meet, actually. So if you do have any questions, anybody out there, you feel free to email us at info@thesecretlifeofpd.org, or you can simply leave a comment on this channel and we'll make sure that Roz gets it. So thank you again, and thank you for tuning in. And good luck, Brian.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you. Thanks.